All right, here we go. Into the saucy stuff right away, gentlemen. Every time I do one of these meme reviews, I always have to address some trash taste stuff. I kind of like doing it, though. It's kind of fun. All right, here we go. Here we go. I'll do it in the correct voice as well. All right. Wait, the voice. Wait, what is this? How do I even represent this? Trash taste fans when guests talk about YouTube streaming adjacent topics. Ah! Trash taste fans when Chris Broad, abroad in Japan, why, like anyone on this subreddit wouldn't know who that is, talks about YouTube streaming adjacent topics. I think the reason why Chris is so good at talking about this stuff in a way that is very appealing is because, first and foremost, Chris is comfortable around us, which is a huge thing, because Chris talks some mad shit. And it's very funny a lot of the time. But it's kind of tough for a guest or any person to go on a podcast if they don't really know the people very well and just start saying some wild shit. But Chris knows us and we're all very comfortable and Chris can say that. So, and Chris likes being in that role. So it's obviously when he talks about it, it's going to be more fun because he's also just extremely skeptical about it in a very fun way. It's such a boomer energy that's so funny when he talks about it. Because every YouTuber will be like, man, I just think these shorts things are great. I'm trying to do these shorts. I'm trying to strategize. And Chris was going, I fucking hate shorts. I'd rather go kill an orphan than do a short. And it's just like, all right, okay, Chris. All right, thank you. All right, fair enough. And it is very fun. It's very fun to watch. That being said, and I'm sure that this won't be the last complaining post we have to go through because the Reddit loves a good complain. It's fair enough. You're allowed to complain about a show. I think sometimes a lot of the people who sometimes complain about stuff just for no reason or who are just bored, I think sometimes they don't appreciate sometimes the amount of work that goes into making a weekly show and how tough that can be to make sure that a show that is every single week is always the best episode possible. And that it's always going to be the episode that appeals to you the most. It's tough. It's just tough. I mean, we haven't missed an episode in over 3 years now. And I think that comes with some drawbacks. Anyway, let's continue. Which part of the Abroad in Japan book did you like? Well, if you haven't watched the episode, that's going to seem very confusing. It's tough. I think on one hand, re-inviting guests is good and also builds up rapport. But I think as a creator, it's like if you're a creator and you come on Trash Taste, you know, you give up like a day or something of your time to come on. I think if you come on multiple times, it's less and less worthwhile for you to come on, right? Because you've already like done the episode, you've already done it. So it's like, I think we don't want to take advantage of people as well and be like, hey, keep coming on our show and making our show better. By the way, you don't get any, like, you know what I mean? You don't get anything out of it. Except maybe, I guess you get a bump in audience or whatnot. Like Chris does not get any more viewers from being on Trash Taste on more episodes. Chris comes on because Chris enjoys it, and we're good friends. But like, if Chris is looking at it at like a purely business sense, it wouldn't make sense for him to come on like every week, right? It would just take up a lot of time, and he wouldn't get the return on investment. Wouldn't make sense. That being said, I do think that we have had some episodes or a few episodes with guests on that, yeah, they didn't really gel well. Like, I just think it's tough because, like, a lot of the times, if we're doing some episodes, you know, you just kind of hope that it goes well. And mainly for us, I think as well, like the America one, for example, right? Like, we sometimes will have guests on that we really, really wanted, right? And guests that were really good. But if we want to make it make sense, like bringing a whole filmography setup, but then that went wrong, and then we rented all this equipment. For that to make sense financially, we need to get more episodes out of it than just like 3 solid episodes. So that's why we would record more. Like the same thing with Australia. If we're paying a production company to help us make episodes, it makes way more sense to get more guests on if possible. And you know, maybe those episodes don't gel with some of the audience. And I think that's fine, because I think from our perspective, not every single episode needs to be an absolute banger. But I think for us, we definitely could do a better job at making sure it's a little more integrated, and that guests who maybe the audience won't like, at least will make them feel more involved in the conversation. But it's tough. We have one more Australia episode left, and it's really good. I think you guys I think it's going to be a really big hit with the subreddit as well, even though they hate everything. It was a really good episode. It was probably one of my favorite episodes in a long time. It was fucking crazy. So I'm very happy. I think the problem with how do I word it? I just don't want to word it to make people angry. I think sometimes, because like I check the Reddit obviously, because I like seeing what's up, and I like keeping in touch with the community. And I think it's really easy to be like, when people don't like something, that you can be like, they're just fucking dumb, they're just complaining all the time, yada yada yada. But I think it's a legitimate complaint that some people don't like the guests, or they don't gel with it, or they think we invite too many guests on that they don't really know. I think that's fair. But I also think that people don't appreciate, like I said earlier, I think people don't appreciate what goes into making a show, especially when we're doing shows in other countries, and how hard that can be. Again, I think we really value having it Trash Taste be weekly and never missing a week. And I think we'd rather have the weekly episodes, because it still gives us more ability to make the stuff we want, but keep that consistency for you guys. So yeah, we'll see. That's that. Being a content creator is sometimes tough, because your audience could want one thing and you want to do another, and that's tough kind of navigating that bridge. So yeah, that's tough. We're proud. Listen, all memes aside, and I fuck around a lot and I make jokes a lot, but I do care a lot about what most of you guys think, and I want to make sure that you guys are enjoying the stuff we're putting out. And I try my best. And sometimes we invite guests on that you guys won't know, but maybe they're very entertaining. Like, I'm sure a good chunk of people didn't know who Lady Beer was before the podcast. Quality over quantity. You would think that's the correct way of thinking, because everyone loves to say that, but you're wrong. For the climate where we're at and the way that we're just doing Trash Taste, having a consistent weekly schedule is probably the most important thing, I think. So, I think it's about making the weekly content as quality as possible, as opposed to being like, let's just upload one podcast a month that we like, Are you okay? Why are you being nice? I'm just trying to be understanding. Because I don't want people to feel like I'm just dismissing them. Unfortunately, we live in a world where quantity is rewarded. So yeah. You can't, it's so easy to apply the quality over quantity argument to literally everything, but it just doesn't work like that in reality.